beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
No. I am your father.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
You're listening to After the Ending, the only film podcast where we tell you what happens after the ending of your favorite films. And now, here are your hosts, Mike Spring and Phil Edwards.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of After the Ending. I'm Mike Spring.
And I'm Phil Edwards.
And Phil, we are doing some fun stuff tonight as we are recording this live. Yesterday was Father's Day, so our one of our episodes has a slight Father's Day theme to it. But that'll be our second episode for the evening. Do you want to tell people what we're doing in our first episode of the evening?
Yes, that's right. For our main feature, we are going to be going after the ending of Edgar Wright's Shaun of the Dead.
Yes, Shaun of the Dead, a classic film. And then we're going to be discussing, we're going to have a little discussion about some interesting stuff. Phil, it was your idea. Why don't you tell people what we're going to talk about?
Yeah, we're going to be discussing movies versus television. You know, we've got so many. I was inspired by the fact that the Loki TV show's going. We've had a few of we've had WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and they're telling long-form stories. I just thought we'd discuss the rise of that and what could be better. The fact we have movies which tell a story often in just, an hour and a half, 2 hours. Although the Marvel movies, you could say, are one big long-form thing. And I'm really waving my arms around here. Right. But yeah, we're going to be discussing a bit of that about TV shows versus
Royale.
Yes,
Battle Royale between TV and movies.
Yes, which is the best? Are they the same?
Right.
Things like that.
It'll be that, or it'll be a gentlemanly discussion. One of the other.
And as always, you can join us if you're watching us live on Facebook. If you leave comments, we'll be able to read them and we can flag them up if they're pertinent or we just want to share them. But yes, that's for the main feature, and we'll have the post-credit episode after this. So stay tuned for that.
And we have already got our first comment from Christine saying Happy Father's Day. Thank you very much, Christine.
Yes,
appreciate that. We are both pleased to be fathers, and we appreciate the sentiment. And awesome. Okay, well, let's kick things off. So, Phil, we're going to discuss Shaun of the Dead first. We're going after the ending of Shaun of the Dead. I know it's one of my favorite films, and I'm going to just go ahead and spoil it, Phil. I know it's one of your favorite films, too.
Yes, it is. It's one of my favorite films. I do like the Cornetto trilogy. Shaun of the Dead is probably still the best, but I like the fact that all a little bit different. But Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and Edgar Wright, they just did so many good things. I mean, even from Spaced, back in the early days of Spaced and on onwards, it's always worth a watch, always funny.
Yep. So for those of you who may not be familiar, the Cornetto trilogy is the three films that Edgar Wright directed that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost were in, of course, starting with Shaun of the Dead, then followed up by Hot Fuzz, followed up by The World's End. They are not really related except for tonally and cast-wise, but story-wise, they all take place. They're all separate movies.
Yes, yeah.
Unless you want to go really meta, but we're gonna save that for now. So Shaun of the Dead, very quick recap on this one. Shaun, he's a slacker. Ed is his best friend. He's a slacker. Shaun gets dumped by his girlfriend Liz, and then zombie apocalypse breaks out. And these two guys who are kind of they're not idiots, but they're slackers, right? They sort of manage to survive, go rescue Liz. Shaun's mom gets eaten. Liz's boyfriend gets eaten, or somebody who likes her, and at the very end, Ed gets bitten and turns into a zombie, and Shaun and Liz are together, and they're in love, but they're about to get eaten by zombies, and then the British troops show up and save the day, and at the very end, Shaun is out in his garage or shed or whatever, playing video games with a zombified Ed, and that's pretty much it. If you've seen it, you should know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, then you go watch it, because it's brilliant.
Yeah, very well done, but it's one other little thing as well. We also see that other surviving zombies are being used for manual labor, getting shopping trolleys and things like that.
Right, good. Yes, thank you for mentioning. I forgot to mention that as an important point to make. So it's one of the few horror comedies that really works so well on both fronts. It's very, very funny. Also has some truly tense and scary moments. So I think that's why everybody loves it so much, right?
Yeah, totally. And so it's got some great use of music throughout the film, which is always another thing about Edgar Wright, because of course he made Baby Driver as well. Yeah, so he does like his music. He does know how to combine it. So it's if you haven't seen it, we spoiled it, but doesn't matter. It's still worth a watch. Barely touched on it. It's
yeah, it's so good, and it's great cast, a lot of recognizable faces, and just really terrific. So all right, so there you go. There's our plug for Shaun of the Dead. Phil, do you want to go first this week? You want me to go first?
Okay. Yeah, I can go first.
You go first. Go for it. Let's hear it.
Okay, time moves on as time does. Liz and Shaun are happy and expecting their first child. Shaun still plays video games with Ed. It's more like a home office now, no longer a shed. And he has found that Ed's reactions are improving over time, and he even laughs at some of Shaun's jokes. But then the news reports show how some of the surviving zombies seem to be becoming more intelligent. There's even word of a few escaping and attacking humans again. In order to stop another outbreak, a nationwide purge of the zombies is ordered. Worried about Ed, Shaun doesn't know what to do. And then Ed speaks. Shaun, I'm not the Ed you knew, but I know you're a good person. We are actually creatures from a distant galaxy and escaped when our sun collapsed. Our plan was to possess your dead and ask for asylum, but something went wrong, leaving us mindless for such a long time. We apologize. But now we can think and speak, but our approach to the governments of the world has largely been met with betrayal, and they want us all dead. However, the country of Iceland have offered amnesty to our kind, and the temperature will keep us about a lot easier. Can you help me get there? Blown away by this revelation, Shaun agrees and discusses it with Liz. A plan is formed. Take the car, get to the docks, avoid the zombie killers, get on a ship, go over to Iceland, have a cup of tea, and wait for the whole thing to blow over. And that's my ending.
I love it. I love it. And obviously, for those of you who've seen the movie, you know that that's a very nice kind of homage to the plan in the actual film. If you haven't seen it, that's what that was. Expertly done. Thank you. Quite the monologue from Ed the Zombie. That was impressive.
Well, yeah, I've been biding his time, working it all. But I was inspired by that because the bit at the start of Shaun of the Dead, you hear talk about a satellite or something going over or an asteroid. So I thought I'd go with the alien angle of things.
Cool. I like it. I dig it. That's a lot of fun.
Okay, that was mine, but what's yours?
All right. So here we go. Shaun goes right back to the slacker life. While life in post-zombie England is different, it also feels largely the same. He gets a new job. This time he goes from being an electronics salesman to being a clerk in a video game store. It's a pretty lateral move, but he gets all the latest games for cheap so he can play them with zombified Ed. Their favorite games to play are Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, all the war games, and first-person shooters. Meanwhile, in a remote village in Norfolk, two young men believe they've killed all the vampires in a cursed town and lifted the curse, but one vampire has survived. Fueled by vengeance, she starts biting locals at will and turning them, and soon a massive vampire uprising is underway. But it turns out that zombies are cured when bitten by vampires. Don't ask me the science behind that, because I have no idea. But they are. So Shaun unleashes Ed, sets out to rescue Liz, who's stuck at work in a building surrounded by vampires. But no matter what Shaun tries, he can't get a vampire to bite Ed. They just keep coming after him instead. However, Shaun quickly realizes that his thousands and thousands of hours of warfare gameplay have turned him into a sniper-level crack shot. Using everything from wood chips in a slingshot to bullets dipped in holy water, Shaun carves a path of utter destruction, taking out vampires left and right until he finally reaches Liz. Shaun's holding off the vampires, but doesn't see one coming up from behind, about to bite him in his neck. But zombie Ed, with his last trace of humanity, pushes Shaun out of the way, and the vampire sinks its teeth into Ed's neck, which starts the process of his transformation back into a human. Standing atop a pile of undead bodies, Shaun heroically kisses Liz while surrounded on all sides by vampires and zombies in an epic battle of the undead, while the transforming Ed wanders off in search of an Xbox and some crisps. The end.
Excellent. Very good.
Thank you. I realized in my last couple endings I went a little smaller, so I was like, I need to go a little bigger this time. And I have this very clear visual of like Shaun and Ed in like this sweeping shot with like the camera circling around them, just like on this pile of bodies of dead vampires, and like there's this just war of vampires and zombies raging all around them. He's got like the one arm around her waist. He's kissing her like a romance novel cover, you know? Like I have it all in my head. It's like I wish I could just take the things in my head and put them onto screen. I'd be like a billionaire. But unfortunately, it's not that easy. So.
No, excellent. I like it. It's in keeping with Shaun of the Dead as well. I could see the bit where there'd be a montage, wouldn't it, of Shaun trying to get Ed bitten by vampires.
That's exactly what I was thinking, right? Like I didn't want to make it too long and go into it, but I was like, all these things he's trying to do, like setting like traps and stuff, almost like trying to get vampires to bite Ed, and none of them will. Like I thought that could be very funny. So I'm glad that you, great minds think alike. You clearly can see what I'm going for here.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you. All right. I just realized I haven't put any of our tickers or banners up yet. So just because I went to the trouble of making them, I should put them up. So as we go after the ending of 2004, Shaun of the Dead. And if you're listening to this on the podcast version, that means nothing to you. So don't worry about it. And if you're watching it live or after the fact, then you'll at least see what I'm talking about.
But if you are listening to it on the podcast and wondering what it is, if you come along to Facebook, when we do the recording every other Monday, usually, you'll be able to watch us, see our faces, which may put you off, or it may actually may tempt you in. You never know, but you can also watch and look at the things behind us, all the books, the graphic novels, the comic art, and what have you. So it changes every week. See if anything's thematic.
Totally.
Nothing so far, but there we go. But that's the endings. So.
All right. Okay, so there you go. Those are our endings, like you said, for Shaun of the Dead. Great film. Definitely check it out, and then hopefully you enjoy our endings as well.
If you want to hear what we thought about Hot Fuzz and the ending after that, if you go way back to episode 20, which is only an audio podcast form, but if you go to that, you'll be able to hear our endings for Hot Fuzz.
Yes, which we had a lot of fun with that as well. Also a great film. So I guess at some point we'll have to do The World's End. Well, I feel like a lot less people have seen that one. So
yeah, but I think for completion we should do it.
Yeah, we definitely have to. We'll give it a little time, though, since we just now did Shaun of the Dead. So, all right, cool. So that means it is time for us to move on to our Battle Royale. I've used that term a lot today, apparently, because I used it in my ending and in our intro now again. But so this was great, Phil. Like you said, with Loki coming out, this is Marvel's third series now to hit Disney+. What we wanted to kind of talk about the difference or the good and the bad, if you will, the pros and the cons, maybe, of long form storytelling versus short form storytelling. I kind of boiled it down to this, Phil. For me, it came down to this: does everything have to be a TV series? Because that's how I feel like things are going these days. So that's my question then. To start things off, I'll throw it to you: does everything need to be a television series these days?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think if somebody has a good story and can commit to that story, then I think often as well, if it's an original work as well, and you just want to tell that one story, I think a film's can be the best way to go. Obviously, it depends on the subject matter and how deep you want to get into the characters and things. But if you've got a good story and you've got some good people behind the camera and in front of the camera, I think a film can just get the whole point across. You can get the emotions and everything, especially if you go see it in the cinema. It's obviously going to lift it again, just for the sheer scale of things. But I think, I think films are good for original tales, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But what about you? What do you think?
My short answer is no. Not everything needs to be a television series. I totally understand what you're saying. I do think it does work for some things. However, part of the problem I'm running across, everybody knows I'm a big comic book collector, and everyone's like, "Oh, have you watched The Boys? Did you watch Jupiter's Legacy? Did you watch this? Have you watched what's the Academy, the
Umbrella Academy?
Umbrella Academy. Have you watched all these?" I'm like, yeah, I got news for you. I don't have 27 hours a day to watch every TV show that they put out. And nowadays, it seems like everything is being made into a TV show. Like, why can't some things just be a movie? And then if it goes well, maybe you make another one. Like Jupiter's Legacy, for example. Now, I haven't watched it yet because, again, I don't have time. 12 episodes, 10 episodes, whatever it was, didn't do so well. That Netflix already canceled it. Within like the first couple days it was out, even though it opened to big numbers from what I heard, they canceled already. So wouldn't that maybe have been served better by being a movie that they could have gotten, I don't know, whatever the Netflix numbers are, 100 million views on, and then been like, ooh, that was a big hit, let's make another sequel. Like, I've read the Jupiter's Legacy comic books. There's only like 8 of them. It's not that long of a series. They didn't need to make it into an entire season of television. Sometimes I feel like just telling a story, get in, get out, and hope for more, works better.
Yeah. I think maybe, the Jupiter's Legacy series, I saw it and quite enjoyed it, but I think they were taking elements not just from the original miniseries, but from some of the ones which followed as well, digging into the backstories of things.
Yeah, but there's
But I
only a
think,
couple of those too. I mean, all told,
yeah, that's true.
there's this wealth of information. Like The Boys at least had like 75 issues, right? This
Yeah.
is like a total of like maybe 15 issues, I think. So it's like, why did that need to be a 10 episode series? Why couldn't you just make that into a 2 hour movie? They've made things that were way longer than that into a 2 hour movie before, you know? So like, why not do that?
Well, sticking with the comic book adaptations as well, Netflix did the Old Guard, didn't they? That was they did that with a movie and a sequel in the works. So one other option could be to do a movie to introduce things, and then if need be, then a series. They were originally going to do that with the Dark Tower, Stephen King's The Dark Tower.
Right.
The plans way back when were going to be do one movie, and then have a mini series like we'd all watch, and then do another movie, and keep doing that. So you could have the big epic scenes of the movie, and then focus down on various characters and tell the tales. Because I think TV series are good for focusing on the characters and some of the events, the backgrounds of the different people. And if you want to really delve into it, it's good for that. But
yeah,
especially if it's just like a 6 episode thing. That's the other thing. They seem to go on, some TV shows go on too long.
Yeah, agreed. I think that there are certain things that if you're trying to translate, you need more time for. Preacher, for example. I didn't like the Preacher TV show, but, it had 65 some odd issues. You couldn't just condense that into a 2 hour movie that made any kind of sense at all because so much happened in it, right? Dark Tower is another example. Like, I saw that movie. It was a horrendous nightmare. Like, it made no sense whatsoever. Like, that's a story that needed more room to breathe. There's tons of examples of good stories that I think were translated into TV shows that work really well. But there's an equal amount that I feel like I hear about and go, yeah, that could have just been a movie. I don't know that I needed to follow this for 10 weeks, So many properties that I hear them announcing as TV shows. And it's like, gosh, that seems to me like it could just be a really good movie. Why do we need it to be? It's like Hollywood has figured out that I guess there's more profit to be made or less risk or something in television shows. So now they're just doing everything as that. And it's like, if I go on Netflix, so here's kind of part of my problem with it. I used to be able to go on Netflix, click around, find a good movie to watch. Nowadays, it's like you have to search to find the movies because everything on Netflix now is a TV series. Yeah. I don't want to watch a TV series a lot of times. Like a lot of times I watch TV late at night after my family's gone to bed. So like I just want to sit there and put on a movie that I can crank out in 90 minutes before I fall asleep on the couch, right? So everything on Netflix, it's like, oh, this looks interesting. And I click on it. It's like, watch season 1 now. I'm like, I don't want to watch season 1. I just want to watch a 90-minute to 2 hour long movie. That's all I want. Like, it's just gotten so. It's like I'm not knocking TV shows because they're good, and I love TV shows, and we watch a lot of them. And I think there are some really good ones that have stemmed from adaptations and everything else. It just seems like they're going so far overboard to where everything now has to be a TV show. They're forgetting about movies a little bit, and it's kind of like, hey, don't forget.
Yeah,
movies are cool too.
I do find with certain movies as well, which recent movies, they sometimes come out and they just don't. They seem to just rush through everything as well. I think because it's almost like they just want to get it done and out the way instead of. Sure. You can still tell us a good story in an hour and a half, but I think some screenwriters and things. I'm not sure whether they've come because they've been working on TV shows. They just get things rushed and then it all gets wrapped up super quick, and you just go. But that was no. Tell a proper story in films. I mean, as you were saying, The Boys and Preacher. No matter what you think of the TV show, at least those comic books that they're based on do have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be. I mean, we've got the Sandman TV show being made. That had a beginning, a middle, and an end as well. So I think if you're going to do TV shows based on a series of comics or books, as long as they've got an ending, I think that's the best way to go. Unless it's The Walking Dead, and then you just keep dragging the on and on and on.
Sandman's a great example, though, right? Like that needs to be a TV show. It's such a complicated story, and there's so many different aspects of it. Like just a 2 hour movie of Sandman is not going to capture what it's all about. Great, I'm all for that being a TV series, and I'll be the first one to watch it. You know what I'm saying? But just certain other things that are kind of like, much more finite. It's kind of like I don't know. Here's what I'll say. I have a comment here from Christine again saying, agreed. Everything is a TV show. See, it's too much sometimes.
Even what we're doing now is almost a TV show.
No, that's true. That's true. I guess we're a little hypocritical in that respect. Now, on the plus side, there are some things I like for example, Marvel's take on this. So Marvel's doing these shows. They're like 6, 7 episodes long, maybe 9. I think WandaVision. They're a short amount, and they're telling stories that A, they want to flesh them out a little bit more, and B, probably wouldn't sell as blockbusters, right? Now, I mean, you could make Marvel could put their name on anything and probably make a $250 million grossing movie, right? But like WandaVision, it was the way they did it with being a TV sitcom and all that stuff wouldn't have really worked as a movie. Loki, yes, everyone loves Loki, but is a Loki movie necessarily going to make $300-400 million to justify what's probably a large budget? It probably would, because Marvel's so popular, but I can see why they don't want to take that chance, and they want to expand on the character and do some different stuff with him. So like, I like Marvel as sort of like, hey, here's the stories we want to tell that don't really fit into our movie plan, because they clearly have a very clear movie plan. So we're going to make it into a movie. And if you want to watch it, we're going to make it into a TV show. And if you want to watch it, great. And if you don't want to watch it, also great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it's going to be the Marvel films which follow are going to be, if we've watched the TV shows, we'll be able to go, things will mean a bit more. We can go, oh, that's so-and-so from that. We can introduce characters as well. It's probably also really good for the actors, because they can really dive into the characters. Yeah. And because now Tom Hiddleston will have played Loki a lot longer than Chris Hemsworth played Thor.
Right.
And things like that. So it's interesting. But also we've got things like, there's going to be an Aliens TV show. I think it's going to be on HBO Max, or I might be wrong about that, but yeah. But as we say, all these properties are becoming TV shows, and are they needed? Some of them might be good, but I think if they are going to do it, stick with the Marvel formula, or like lots of them, British TV shows as well. Just have 6 episodes,
and 6 to 10 episodes. That's the way to do it.
Because then you cut down on the bloats, you cut down on the filler episodes, and it's in out, job done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just feel like, it's one thing with the networks. Like, I get where, like, look at like the CW, like they got the Flash and Green Arrow and Legends of the DC Universe and all these Black Lightning, all these shows. I get that, because they're a network. They need stuff to fill up their airwaves, right? So I understand their rationale for that. So it doesn't bother me, even though I don't watch all of them because I don't have time for them all, right? But when you have these streaming services, Netflix, Hulu, all of these, you have this... you have the ability to make your TV show however long you want it to be, right? Make it 6 episodes, make it 8 episodes, make it 4 episodes, right? It doesn't have to be season after season after season. Like I feel like they have so many options, and it's just sort of becoming the default now to be like, yep, we're going to adapt this right into a TV show. And it's like, I just wish the studios would take a little more time. Maybe Jupiter's Legacy getting canceled right away will serve as a heads up for them to go, maybe that would have been better if we made that into a movie, because then you probably could have made a trilogy out of it, and you would have had these big, huge movies that are getting tons and tons of views, and everyone's talking about on Netflix, like The Old Guard, which was super popular, and I think they're already working on a second one, and Army of the Dead, which was a big hit, or not Army of the Dead, Heist of the Dead, whatever. What was that one called? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think it was called Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead. Okay, right.
Yeah, it was.
Right, like that was a good. Like, it had to be a movie, Yeah. So, that's all I'm saying. So I do like TV shows very much.
Yeah, yeah, me too. But one of the other good things, though, the fact lots of them are on streaming, these TV shows, they can, because you were talking about the length of the episodes as well. I've been seeing lots of series now. They vary the episode length to tell that particular story for that episode. Yes. I mean, look at The Mandalorian. The first 2 episodes that were really short, and everybody's going, make them longer. So then we got some longer ones, and you're going, this is great. But it's they can expand them, because they're not having to fit in all the commercials and advertising and things that go along with it.
Yeah, they don't have to fill a time.
That's one nice little thing about it. But as you say, there's more and more TV shows now. So when you're actually looking for the films, you've got to dive through and go through. And it's often that thing as well, when I am on Netflix or Amazon, I'm going, oh, I haven't got time to watch a movie. But you put an episode on of a show, and then you've watched 3 hours of TV, and you go, I've got to watch the film. I've got to watch 2 films.
Right. I mean, ultimately, I think there's no right or wrong way to enjoy your fictionalized storytelling, right? If you like the TV shows, great. If you like the movies, that's great. I just wish there's a little more variety. It seems like it's just leaning a little too heavily one way. We did get an interesting comment in. I'm going to put it up here from Jay. Do you prefer the binge or the weekly release schedule? That's an excellent question. Phil, what do you...
I think it depends upon the TV show, because some of the shows, when they come out, I just like to go, oh, yeah, that was a great episode, on to the next. But things like WandaVision and some of the others. I like the bit of mystery it brings back, as they call it, the water cooler element, where people are talking about it and going, I wonder what's going to happen. Let's the mystery build. You come up with the theories. I mean, everybody's Mephisto according to Twitter. But
right.
And the one problem with the weekly release schedule is you just want to see the next one straight away because we've been spoiled. But the binge format, which is also really good, I find I can binge a load of stuff and I'm suddenly going, I forget things when I think back to it. Go, oh yeah, that was like 6 episodes. I'm going, well, what happened in this? You just suddenly rush through it. You're at the end, and you've got to wait another year.
Right.
But I think the weekly release schedule is good the first time it's done, and then when the second series is good, it's good to go back and binge the first season again, just to refresh yourself and do that. That's what I like to do. Yeah. What about you?
I kind of feel the same way. I feel like if it's a show that has a lot of big events and spoilers and things like that, the weekly works better. Because there are some people who, like, the minute the show comes out and all 10 episodes are out, they'll sit down and watch the whole thing. I'm like, yeah, I that's never going to happen for me. I have kids, I have work, I have all kinds of things to get to. It's going to take me 10 weeks to watch that sometimes, or at least 10 nights, right? And then they go online and they're like, oh, guess who died in the 3rd episode? You're like, dude, I haven't even gotten to the 1st episode yet. So I like that. Like Marvel, I like the way they're doing that with the weekly releases, because there are so many spoilers in their shows that it just doesn't give some people a chance to get to it. And it's like people, stay off social media. Well, I don't want to have to stay off social media for 2 weeks just so I can watch a TV show. I'm a busy guy. I don't always have time to do that. But I'll give you a good example, something like Ted Lasso. So I'm a huge fan of Ted Lasso. It's an Apple Plus show. It's a comedy. It's absolutely brilliant. Probably my favorite show of like the last decade. And that's one to me. I watched it after it all came out, so I don't even remember how it was released. But like that's one to me. If they drop season 2 is coming out July 28th. If they dropped every single episode, great. I'll watch them because I love that show. But that's not a show that people are like going online and being like, what do you think about this scene? What about this scene? What does this mean?
Yeah.
So that's okay. So I can go either way, but I do like Stranger Things was a big one. It was like everybody's getting through when Stranger Things like season 2 dropped. I must have seen like 50 people on my social streams who were like, well, I finished Stranger Things season 2 like the second day it was out, and I'm like,
yeah, I think I've done that with one of the Stranger Things one, and it just ended up going. I enjoyed it, but I can't remember it. I remember little bits of it, but whereas weekly things, it beds into your mind a bit more.
Right, you blow through it so fast that takes forever for the next one to come out. Like my wife and I waited like, I don't know, we did watch Stranger Things like season 2 or 3, whichever, over like 8 weeks, because it was like, okay, that just cuts down at least a little bit the wait for the next season, and like, I don't know, stretches it out a bit. It's kind of like you're so excited for it and you blow through it in one day, and it's kind of like, well, what's the fun in that? You know what I mean? It's like I'd rather stretch it out a little bit and get some, you can have a little more enjoyment out of it. That's me though. That's me personally. Again,
I think it's better for the streaming services as well if they do it weekly though, because the word of mouth just builds and people keep talking about it. Otherwise, it can all be gone in like 2 or 3 weeks. Right.
Absolutely. Jay says he prefers the weekly, brings him back to his childhood. He's old. Yeah, well, I think you're younger than me, but so I don't know what that makes me. But yeah. And then we have a couple more comments from Christine. Can't wait for season 2 of Ted Lasso. Yes, love Ted Lasso.
Yeah, there was a new trailer for that one out today.
Yes. And then she also says, love Stranger Things, but can't remember it either, right? Because it's been so long since it came out. I do wish they could work on that a little bit. I know that Stranger Things probably, I'm sure COVID slowed it down and a bunch of other things, but like the wait times between that show are a little ridiculous. So the kids are going to be like 27 by the time the series ends. They're all going to be like middle-aged kids.
Stranger Things I do enjoy, but part of me does wish it had just been the first season and they just left it.
Yeah, the first season was so perfect. And the second and third seasons, although I think the back half of the third season, I thought the first half was just okay. I thought the last half of the third season was absolutely amazing. So, but I do agree. It was a perfect first season, and then the second and third seasons were both pretty darn good, but not as perfect as the first one.
Yeah. But that's the other thing about the whole, movies versus films. I mean, you could just well, if a film or TV show is successful, there are going to be sequels. So,
right. So sometimes it's good to take that chance and hope you get more. All right, so there you go. I think that's a good natural stopping point for us. So again, there's no right or wrong way to enjoy your television movies, or however you like it. These are just our opinions on what we think about them.
It's whatever you're in the mood for at the time.
Yeah, exactly. Some people, my wife loves TV shows and hardly ever watches movies. I love movies. I still watch TV shows, but like it's different for everybody. So we thought it'd be fun to kind of talk about it and see what we thought.
Yep. Thank you for the
right.
comments, everybody. That was good.
Yes, thanks for the comments. Appreciate it. And that's going to wrap up our first episode for the night. But if you are watching live, please stay tuned. We will be back in just a couple of minutes to continue with our post-credits sequence episode. We're going to do a top 5 list for you on our ATE recommends. If you are listening to this or watching it after the fact, you'll have another episode next week. And please come join us live on Facebook so you too can make comments and interact with us. We enjoy that very much. Anything I'm missing, Phil?
I think you've covered everything. Yeah, so it's the end of this one. New episode coming up almost immediately.
Almost immediately. All right. So as always, thank you guys very much for watching and listening. I'm Mike Spring.
I'm Phil Edwards.
We'll see you next time.
After the ending.